Okay, it is March 17th. I have my green on.
Oh,
For today, we won't pinch
oh,
you through the screen. I didn't have anybody actually talk about it today, but I thought I got this new green shirt and I thought, well, today's the day to wear it. So, all right, well, I'll say a really quick prayer for us and then we are going to get going. So, Lord, I just thank you for these ladies that are here and thank you for their commitment, even through the things that are going on in their lives. And we just pray for that funeral service tomorrow, Lord. We just pray that those that are there will be comforted by you and that goes smoothly and maybe that gives people some just peace. To have that service. And Lord, I just lift up our unit and just all the ladies in it and just all the things that are going on with them. And we are grateful for new people that are trying to do just really trying to work and move forward and we're thankful for that and we're thank you for the ladies that have been in our unit forever that just hang in there and maybe we don't always see them at meeting but they're here and they're part of us and they're servicing their customers and they are using the products and we're just thankful for that and Lord just guide my words tonight and help me to think clearly and be able to be of use and helpful to these ladies. It's in your name we pray, amen.
amen.
Okay. Real quick, um, I didn't actually look at um the accomplishment sheets. I did get the ones last week, Dawn, that you inputted from before. So those did come through. Did either of y'all enter accomplishment sheets today? Did you guys have sales this week you want to share?
I'm just been too far away from it to
Yeah.
even have looked.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
glance.
only had like $132. Like went back and looked. I was like maybe 200. I was low and but I have a party tomorrow and I'm booking for people to come Friday night to a Waverly Way and I have a facial on Saturday and then I booked a double facial for May. So, I did get some bookings because I was like, okay, we got to get something going here because I had a pretty good um February really, and so I think I've got to get some things happening on my book so that I can get some more sales. I've had some reorders, but I haven't had like some really big ones. So I did get a customer referred someone to me. And so they wanted a catalog and they live in Claude. It's not very far from here. So I mailed her catalog today and I'm going to follow up with her. So have some things happening, but my sales are just not shown, a lot yet. But I'm hoping the last part of March, I'm going to make the last part of March better. But speaking of ordering, we did have the little opportunity to be in the drawing, and I said I was going to do it on the 16th, and I decided to just do it on meeting because there was only 3 people that actually did orders of 350 or more before the 15th. Um, Actually, since then, today, some people have, but yeah, did you want to say something? Okay, so, and it was double credit on sales through the 15th. So, but that, even if you didn't hit 350, whatever you hit was going to be double credit in sales. So Dawn and Jody and Meredith were the 3 that did at least 350 before midnight on the 15th. So 2 of you out of the 3 are getting a $50 gift card. So I am going to draw. I have all 3 names in this pretty little bowl. And I'm going to draw the names now since I thought half of you guys, most of you guys are on here. So we'll see. Jody is the
Yay,
first winner.
Jody.
Jody's the first winner. Okay, let's see. It's either going to be Dawn or Meredith. I'm just going to mix them all up here and pull it out without looking. Let's see. Meredith. Dawn's like, okay, that's been my day. So I will get you guys your Amazon cards. But we still have the opportunity to earn that virtual business card if you get a qualified recruit in the month of March. And so that's still going on through the end of March. I will draw for everybody that gets a qualified recruit. So Jody, you're on the way. I feel like she might do it before the end of the month, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. She's doing a good job of pulling together orders and all of that. So anyway, so that's all
I
good.
had an interesting phone call on Saturday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've gotten where I don't answer the phone if it doesn't come up with a name. I just like,
Yes. I know.
and
I don't really either.
yeah, and I was sitting there looking at that phone number, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I answered it, and I was actually on my way to go pick up some things. And the lady said, "Is this Jody Campbell?" And I was like, "Yes." And she said, "With Mary Kay?" And I was like, "Yes." I don't know. And she said, "Well, I found your card in my office." And I was like, "Okay." She just started asking me about mascaras, and she's 80 years old
Oh,
and has decided to quit wearing her false eyelashes because the
oh,
glue was bothering her eyes.
okay.
Now, I thought she said 80, and she may not have said 80, but it sounded like she said 80. But I said, "Do you remember when I gave you my card?" And she said, "No, I don't remember when you gave me your card." And she said, "But I found it, and it's been years since the 90s since I've worn Mary Kay." Now,
Wow.
she has not placed an order.
Okay.
And she asked me, she's like, "Well, are the Walmart mascaras as good as the Mary Kay mascara?" And I said, "In my eyes, they are." I said, "I can't tell you what Walmart mascaras, Maybelline, L'Oreal, or anything else did."
Yeah.
I said, "Now I know what they did before I started using Mary Kay." I said, "But I don't know their ingredients. I know Mary Kay ingredients."
Mm-hmm.
But she kept asking me, "Well, what do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going there."
Do you think it was like a decoy or like a
No,
spy?
no, no. I asked her, I said, "Do you have a consultant?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Have you had a consultant?" She said, "No, it's been since the 90s since I wore Mary Kay, and the lady I was buying it from died."
Jody, all I want to say is lucky you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a good thing that somebody would still reach out, right?
Mm.
If
Yeah.
she's not been in touch with Mary Kay. But at the same time, I
Oh,
don't know. It
girl.
sounds a little fishy.
Well, it wasn't fishy to me, but I mean, she kept going on. I mean, she was really cute, but she kept asking me questions about, well, um, I don't want black, black. Do you have anything that's black, brown? And I said, yes. And then she said, she said, "Well, how long does it last?" And I said, "Well, Mary Kay recommends that you replace your mascara every 3 months." And I said, "But not everybody does that." And I said, "It will last for a while." And I said, "It wears really well." And anyway, it was just quite the conversation.
So
But she
how
didn't,
did you end it? Why did
yeah,
it
but she didn't buy it at the end.
Mm-mm. No, no, she kept asking me, and I said, "Well," I said, "Why don't you?" I said, "Do you have my website on my card?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Great." I said, "Why don't you go online?" And I said, "And you can go in there and you can look at the different mascaras and decide which one you want."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "And call me and let me know." And then she said, and she's not even in our town. She's an hour north. And she said, "Well, when I come back into Amarillo, which will probably be the next couple of weeks, I'll give you a call and we can meet up." I was like, "Great. Sounds good."
Oh, so that's interesting that she has your card and she's not from Amarillo either.
Yeah. So she must have gotten me from like a vendor show or something.
Uh-huh.
That's
It's the only thing I can
awesome. I
think of
love
is,
this story.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, well, that's good. So that's kind of a good thing that's happened this week because I was going to ask y'all if there was something good you wanted
oh,
to share or something you
Oh,
just
well,
were grateful for.
you made me think. I mean, I did have a couple of reorders come in, and it's just, because I'm not prepared to talk about what good things have gone on, but I mean,
Yeah.
things are happening. For as little effort as I've been able to put forth in the past week, I can't complain when I get a couple of nice reorders, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That is good. I know. I feel like I've been a little distracted because the double credit ended on the 15th and I was questioned whether to do more because that would help us hit our, 300,000. I'm not even looking so much at personal sales as I am, 300,000, but I don't know. I thought I also hadn't sold more than I had, so, it was it is what it is. And so but
Well,
I have bookings this week, so we'll just see. Maybe I'll end up ordering more at the end of the month, but it would have been helpful for it to be double credit, but
yeah, my order plus Amy's order was
mhm.
all tied to me, just so you
Mhm.
know. And I've had
Yeah.
pretty good sales in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So that's
but I'm
I mean,
still not at the 9% commission level, and I intend to really. I'm seeing Maddie Haug and Lisa Haug on Thursday.
okay.
I'm seeing let's see, Amy Allison on Thursday. I'm seeing
Oh, good.
Shelly Rogers. So I'm seeing 3 team members on Thursday socially. And of
Oh,
course, I
good.
will do what I need to do to check with them.
Yay. Okay, good. Well, the other thing I'm going to really start looking at, like on April 1st, is how many people we can get active in our unit before the end of June. So I want as many people as possible to order April, May, or June. And so I don't know exactly how I'm going to promote that yet, but because I'd like to increase our number of active team members so that we hit that goal for seminar. So I will definitely be looking at that for sure. So
I
the
think
other thing,
April's going to be my month to return to normal. I have
okay,
company
yeah.
coming. The house will be done.
Oh, good.
Um,
Okay.
so April is my month that I see myself returning to normal.
Okay, good. That's good. Yeah, I think April will be good, for sure. And really, March is going to end up okay. I mean, we're production wise, we're not in a bad place. It's just, we just have enough people ordering that it's turned out good. So, where we are right now, a little over halfway is about where we normally are. So we're not really behind there. Um, I want us to do a little bit better so that we hit that 300,000 a little easier. But I'm watching it close, and I think it's totally doable. And we tend to have a really good last quarter of the year, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. And I think May will be big in the sense that some of the new things that we have coming, we'll for sure be reaching out to customers on the new foundations and getting in front of people to do foundation matching and all of the things. So I think that will be good. So one thing, I think I mentioned this to Jody in passing, and Debbie's not on tonight, but she did ask me about this, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm okay with this. So, I didn't ask anyone to do product knowledge tonight, but one of the things I think we will do going forward is if it's your night, then you can choose to do a product knowledge like we normally do, or you could even do like a lip look and show that lip look, or an eye look, or something with a bronzer or a blush or something like that. I don't think we have time to do a whole look because we don't want it to take the whole meeting to do that, but I don't think it's a bad idea. So tonight I thought I would show y'all a look I've never tried on my lips. And it's a look that's going to come out with our pink perks in April, I think. But I've never used hot pink lip liner. So I'm going to try hot pink lip liner. I would normally feel like this was too bright for me, and probably because I am a spring, it is. But I think if I wanted something a little brighter, and I have used hot pink before. This is hot pink lipstick, which again could be a little bright for me, but I do like it. And on Zoom, I think it looks good. But this is a combination I haven't done before. So I thought one of the things you could do if you were the product knowledge person is you could show us a lip look, an eye look, a blush application, something like that. That might help people if you don't want to actually do a product knowledge. So that is hot pink lip liner. It's hot pink lipstick. And this is Pink Diamonds gloss over the top.
Pink diamonds?
Is that what I
I'm
said?
confused.
Not pink diamonds.
Pink diamonds,
Pink.
that's an eyeshadow, isn't it?
No, it's an old blush. Or it's pink ballerina.
Okay.
We used to have a gloss called pink diamonds. And it looked like this, but this is pink ballerina.
So through the Zoom, it looks fantastic. It
I
doesn't
know
look
it
too
does. I
pinky.
know it looks good on. So that is just an idea for a bright spring lip color.
I love it. And guess what? I saw one of my former unit members do a reel on a smoky eye look with the gray color from our stick.
Yeah.
And so did a real quick thing and showed her smoky look. So Saturday night I had to go out to an event and I chose to make my eyes a smoky eye look with like real dramatic. And I hadn't done it in a while. And my customer that I was with, she's like, your eyes are looking really fantastic. I had fun just creating a new eye look that I probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, so next week, do you want to demo that for us and be our
Oh,
product
shoot.
person?
Next week, Tuesday, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't want to
Okay.
commit. I got too
Okay.
much going on. Company's
I
arriving on
know.
Wednesday.
Well, we'll keep it in the back pocket and maybe it's something you can do in April.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to commit to next Tuesday and then be feeling extra stressed or
Yeah.
back out. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
But
so think
that
about,
is a
yeah,
really fun alternative option. I love it.
yeah, and that'd be good to show us with the stick, because we haven't done a whole lot with that. So we'll plan on you doing sometime in April and showing us that look. So anyway, so this was just an example of what you could show us. So it's not going to be like a full look, but Debbie was just thinking that might be helpful. And I thought we've done quite a bit of the products, but the thing is, it's never hurts to do products over either because we learn. So when it's your night, you can pick a product or you can pick something color to like actually demo and show us. So I think that would be good. Let's see. I want to make sure. Okay, this is what I want to show y'all. On Mary Kay and Touch, a couple of things. So, if you watch your news, which, sometimes they just sneak things in there on the latest news, but they are giving us like every so often when they're making enhancements or additional updates to e-commerce or fixes to things, they are putting that out there in the news. Now, sometimes some things they said were fixed that seem to not be fixed, but so this week they did. So just try to watch for that because it could help you with something that you're having trouble with. And so this talks about My Shop and Shop Manager, some of the things that they're going to start putting there. And like it says, registered customers can adjust their email settings for Beauty e-News themselves. And then I guess I didn't realize the time designations for customer entries weren't Central Time, but they are now. So this is what's coming next. So customer name will display in the sold to section of invoices generated for CDS orders. My customers, there's been issues with printing customer labels, so now you'll be able to do that. Customers can reset their passwords when checking out of My Shop. And when you share your My Shop link on social media, the thumbnail image will display in a higher resolution. They were having trouble because I think people were trying to post that in their Instagram posts and stuff. And then it says on the weekly accomplishment sheet, the shipping costs will be removed from the dollar sales less tax column. So there's still been some issues with shipping and the tax and all of that. So it is kind of good to see that. But one of the things that a national has told me or told us that I heard was that it really is helpful to us and to Mary Kay to report the things that are happening. And I was like, how do we best do that? And they said, if you go under resources and contact us and you scroll down to click here to contact us in the email thing, it creates a case. And so I have done that before, and I haven't been always excited about the answer I got back. But they said that they are looking at all those cases and they give them to the exact like wherever it falls. Like if it's just with the Mary Kay in Touch or whatever the issue is, and they have meetings every day that they're going over what they're hearing. And so, and National was saying that some of us just think if there's a problem out there, other people have that problem, and we're not really reporting it. And so she said it would be helpful if they are seeing 15 people report the same thing in one day, that's going to escalate that issue higher than if we're just sitting around waiting for them to fix something. So, Dawn, that could be a place that you could go and tell them which customer you're trying to, tell them which customer you're trying to, send the confirmation email to, and that the error that you're getting, and then they'll create a case for that, and they should respond.
Okay.
So that is something that we can do I'm fine if you guys contact me in case there's something I've heard, but it's also okay for us to continue to tell the company that we're having these issues, because they'll escalate those and things will get fixed faster, hopefully. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew where that was.
Thank you.
And then I kind of wanted to talk about, this was going to be, I guess it's good there's just a few of us, because I really wanted to talk about with y'all. So Jody, I'm going to ask you first, put you on the spot since it's just us three. Like you have this new consultant, or if you were going to be talking to a new consultant, about what you would need to do to build your business, or what you even think that you need to do personally to build your business, what would you tell them you need to do on a daily or weekly or monthly basis? What do you think that would be?
Well, the number one thing is to make contacts every week. Whether you're following up with referrals or following up with customers that have contacted you, that have placed orders, the 2+2 or 3+3, just making sure that you stay in contact and making contacts.
Okay. So do you feel like that you have I know you've also just had surgery, so things are a little different in your world, but do you feel like you have a good system for that?
No.
Okay. So what if you felt like that was what you needed to do yourself, even from now till the end of the year?
Mm-hmm.
What would you put in place so that would happen?
That's funny that you're asking me that, is because I actually was thinking about so they talk about 10 a day, and I just don't. The way that my mental, physical capacity load is right now, I don't have that capacity. Yesterday was my first day back at the office, and I only worked 6.5 hours, but I was literally exhausted, like could not function when I got home. So saying that, I was thinking I probably need to do, cut that in half to 5 a day. And I don't know that I could actually do every day. So I was thinking probably 2 to 3 times a week. And that includes, Saturday through Sunday. So.
Okay. So, I'm trying to just focus one day a week now. I've gone through different ways too. I've done 10 a day. I've done bubble sheet where you just 24 hours of, you sit down and you just go for it. I've tried all the different ways. And it does kind of depend on what season of life you're in and what's happening. But if you do want to move forward, you have to do that in some capacity, right? So, for me right now, I've decided that Fridays I'm going to spend so much time on consultants and so much time on customers. And I definitely have done much better, even just making sure that I do it every Friday. I think there's just some kind of consistency. So and I think for you too, you're going to have to look at your energy level, like if you could even do it. I know you don't necessarily take a lunch hour all the time, but if you took 20 minutes for lunch and you could do it at lunch, so you wouldn't have to do it when you got home and you were already tired, I know that's hard because you're like in your work square, and then, I know you do that sometimes anyway, but that's something to consider. I don't know if that's doable for you because I know I'm not as good in the night at night and I have, it's just, I know that's not my prime time and I know I'll weenie out more if I push it to evening time.
Yeah.
So if I know that about myself and I know that I'm setting myself up to make it harder, if you could or do more on Saturday and Sunday, so when you're not having to be at work. And so you don't have to have that in your back of your head. I got to call 5 people tonight. Oh, I got to call 5. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do to set that up so that it's easier for you and it works within your energy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's something I was thinking about and just kind of looking at and looking at my schedule because I am in and out of the office. So like today, I had a 1:45 physical therapy, and then I had a mammogram at 4, which I know my physical therapy runs an hour, and it was like, I only have a little bit over an hour between the 2 appointments, and in it, my therapy ended up running over a little bit, which ended up being perfect because I went and got a matcha at a new coffee place I found.
oh,
And showed up early to my mammogram and got in and out because I was early. I was the only one there. So,
that's well, and maybe right now, don't try to do bookings on the same day you do therapy.
yeah,
I mean,
well,
you just have to figure out what works best for you. But,
yeah, I wanted to make sure I got my walk in because, it was ugly the last of the week. But I mean, there's different days and different times, so yes.
And I'm like that too. And so sometimes I have to look at it on Sunday and say, what 3 days are going to be the best this week? It may not be Thursday every week, but so that's something to consider. And energy level is definitely something that could hold you back. So you have to work around that and figure out what's going to work best. What about you, Dawn? Like what do you feel like you would tell, like if you're going to talk to someone or one of your consultants, what would you tell them they need to do daily?
Yeah.
Weekly,
Okay. I'm ready to talk.
Okay.
So
We're ready to hear.
If it's a brand new consultant, I mean, honestly, I feel like a brand new consultant should have a mindset that they want everyone they know to know that they have begun their own Mary Kay business, right? So they need to hear the sincerity of, I've started a Mary Kay business, and perhaps share why, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, people are at different seasons on why they choose to join Mary Kay. So it's always, for me, it's always in a subtle way, making sure everyone knows that you are a Mary Kay consultant. That's one way to build your business because you never know when they're going to choose to want to respond, right? It's just like learning that, you got to ask people sometimes 20 times these days to get their attention. So that's one thing for a new consultant to make sure they're comfortable in sharing that they're happy about their new Mary Kay business, right? And then building my business, or just how would I build my business? It's just always letting people see my upbeat, happy side. So I don't interact with people when I don't have the emotional energy or my mood is off. I've known that for a while. And so I've received enough positive feedback where people, when they do interact with me, they're like, you're always in a good mood. You're always so happy-go-lucky, blah, blah, blah. Well, yes, that's intentional for them to see that side of me because then it makes the engagement and the ask, whatever I'm going to do, either ask for referrals. So that's my way of building my business is just kind of, again, one-on-one reading people. What do they know about me? Where are they at? What have they done with me or not done with me? So it could come back to, tracking and having people tracked on a layering sheet. Have I ever done that? No, because I have a good memory of knowing what I have done with people, whether they're my current customers or I'm kind of layering them or whether they've been with me for a while. And to build my business, I each time I'm going to interact with them, I'm looking for something new and intentional, somewhat like an upsell, but not necessarily related to a sale. It's like, how do I
Right.
want to get this person to join me in my business and what I do in a new way? So, like, for
Mm.
instance, the customer delivery I just made today for that girl I was trying to email her sales
Oh,
ticket
yeah.
to, it didn't work. Um, my gift with purchase allowed me to do the follow-up. Here's why I chose to give you this gift with purchase. She has children that I've never talked to about her children. And so I did a pedicure set. The last time I gave her
Oh,
was a biocellulose mask because she uses a lot of Time-Wise repair. And this one was a pedicure set, whether it be for her herself at home or maybe to share with a daughter or an upcoming Easter gift of some whatever, right?
mhm.
So I feel like I'm rambling and I'm a little all over the place. But for
No,
me,
it makes sense what you're saying. Yeah.
it's just I choose to be very conscientious of what can I leverage next. That's how I
Mhm.
choose to build my business. If I feel comfortable asking for somebody for a referral or to introduce me to somebody new, I'll do that because I know they just came off a good personal experience with me, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but honestly, I would advise new people like all the things that I haven't yet tackled in my 13 years of my business, such as particular systems, such as certain basic skills. I would make sure a brand new consultant understands you've got to have certain basics down if you're going to build your business, but don't be afraid to just be verbal about the fact that you are a Mary Kay consultant.
Mhm. No, that's good. Well, the reason why I'm asking you guys this, I'm trying to figure out, where we are and what can we do before the end of the seminar year and what is it that we might need to begin to do that we already like you guys are really seasoned. So, what do you need to continue to do or what you need to begin to do that you can do on a consistent basis that's going to help build? And do you feel like you have all of your systems in place? Like
Now
I
that you're saying that, now I get it. I would reflect on that and come back with some
okay.
different responses. Now that you're putting it in the context of what would I do to increase my business in this last quarter that I
Yeah.
haven't done? If that was the original question, sorry that I missed
Well,
it.
it's both. It's kind of both. Like we can tell people all day long, this is what you need to do as a new consultant, but we have to look at ourselves too and say, are we doing that? And maybe we are, and then what do I want to do too as a seasoned consultant? So I'm asking both questions. What do I want to do as a seasoned consultant through the end of the year to reach whatever goal you set? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys know what goal you set at the beginning of the seminar year that you were like, this was my goal that I wanted to do before the end of the seminar year? Do you guys feel like you know what that is for yourself?
Nope.
So she's saying nope too. So I'm kind of like, if we don't know where we're headed, are we going to get anywhere? Maybe. I mean, the good thing about all of us is we have a pretty good customer base. So we can rely on reorders and then we can kind of build a little bit at a time or whatever. But I'm looking at it as we kind of need to have like, okay, we're in the final four. We probably as business women need to look at this and say, what is it do I want to accomplish by the end of June? And if that is just, continuing to do what I'm doing, I'm fine where I'm at, that's fine. But if you're like, no, I want to make a certain amount of money or I want to, have grow my team so that I know that I'm hitting that 9% check every month, or I know that I want to put myself in a place so that I'm moving up a level. I don't know what it is for you. And you guys both have a lot of life things happening. So you have to look at, okay, what is doable, but also it's, am I pushing myself a little bit to reach something else? And what is that? And I can't say what that is for you. You have to decide what that is for you. and what motivates you to do it, and what, if that's what you want to do, what could possibly hold you back before the end of June, and how are you going to overcome that? So that's kind of where I'm getting at. And I thought today, if I'm having this party on Friday, do I have what I need for that in terms of um, even a closing sheet? Because we keep changing prices, right? And so I did find I have a new good closing sheet I will post on um, our group in case that's helpful to you, because that's the other thing. When you're going to sit down and do an appointment, do you have what you need? Do you have your closing sheet? If you offer a hostess program, do you know that off the top of your head? So if you're out like Dawn is and she's talking to someone and she asks for referrals and she wants them to bring that person with them to an appointment, do you know off the top of your head, this is what I offer people? Like, this is, you have your systems in place, is what I'm kind of getting at, so that we kind of end our year really strong because we know where we're going and we know what we want. So what do y'all think about that?
I'll just say I needed to hear that now, because I know I've been off base for several months, basically January, February, March, no doubt. And so for me, as I said, April's a go forward month. And so you bringing up these reminders and questions, it's perfect. I'm going to have to get myself in sync.
So, and I do feel like, we talked about this a little bit last week with mindset, because we have said it's a tendency in Mary Kay. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. We want more. We want to reach a higher level. We want to make more money. I mean, that's, we do that a lot in Mary Kay, but also don't poo-poo on yourself either. Like, look at and say, this is what I have done. And like, Jody, you have recovered and you're going to therapy and now you're back at work. I mean, like, you have done things and you've had some good sales and some new recruits in the middle of doing all that. So it's not like this is not a meeting of, well, what have you not done? And this is a meeting of, okay, I've done this and I'm happy for myself. And Dawn, you've had some really good campaigns, even though you didn't feel like your Super Bowl thing was what you had in the past. It was successful. You had a good Super Bowl campaign. And so, be thankful and grateful and excited and happy for yourself for what you have done, but also look at, okay, this is where I am. And since we all have been in long enough, we know we want to finish the final months as strong as we can, because we tend to look at the next seminar year and go, okay, I have these goals. And if we're already in motion and if we already have momentum going, and of course, you're going to career conference this weekend. We're going to career conference the next weekend. We will get some excitement there and probably some more ideas. And we've had a lot of good ideas this year with lots of things, but it's a little overwhelming. And so it's not like you can pick and do all the things that we've learned. It's almost like you have to figure out which one really works for me and what am I going to move forward with that I'm happy about, that's easier for me, that I'm not going to stumble as much, So think through that a little bit. I even thought about going back and looking through we'll get more ideas at career conference, but I got some good ideas even at leadership. And I'm like, have I implemented, not that I need to implement everything, but I need to go back and look and say, what is something, one or two things that would help me move forward? And what am I going to do about it? And what could possibly hold me back? And so when I hit those obstacles, what am I going to do to get around those obstacles? Like, you need to plan ahead of what you're going to do to get around your obstacle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Any thoughts? Any thoughts, Jody?
No, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I do remember what my goal is now that you're talking about it, and I know that I'm reevaluating the level of work because of all of this has happened.
Yeah,
I made the comment the other day. I was like, I could be a housewife. You know, I seriously could be a housewife. Not to say not work Mary Kay, but I'm sitting here going, I'm sorry, but this working in the office and everything it's for the birds. Um, so,
Yeah.
so this is kind of giving me another eye opener again about the fact that, you know, I have the opportunity and the availability to be able to replace my income and or not maybe not all of it all at once, but I have that ability to replace part of it at least, that I don't have to go to the office, that I don't have to work in front of a computer screen
Yeah.
and at a desk that is actually killing me and making my back and everything bad. So
Mhm.
So Jody, I don't recall how old you are. I don't want to know how old you are, but I would think like, are you not having any mindset of I can do early retirement?
oh no.
If you said I can, how did you say it at the beginning of this?
I could
Not
be a
work.
housewife.
I could be a housewife. To me, that suggested you're approaching or around retirement, early retirement.
No, there's no way.
Okay, sorry. We'll
No,
leave it
you're
at that.
fine. No, you're fine. There's just no way I could early retire. And there's no way that, I mean, no.
Okay, I was only going to then, if it was appropriate and literally made sense and tied, like talk about how happy I've been to enjoy my retirement and have my Mary Kay business. And
Yeah.
it gives me a different perspective because my Mary Kay business can be very joyful for me with all of the flexibility,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
I am retired and I'm in a good retirement situation. So it's a different story. Like when people realize if your Mary Kay business is a fun side hustle or even a true working side hustle, to keep the right, like, happy or relaxed attitude and not let the Mary Kay stress you out, right?
Right.
Not saying that it does for you, but I'm thinking about other people that may be watching this and hearing what we're talking about. And I have come to realize how important it is for me to remind myself I've got all the freedom I need to do what I want, how I want, when I want with my Mary Kay business. When I want to push hard and set a goal and keep myself accountable, there's that aspect. When I haven't, due to life distracting me, been able to stay on track, I've had a talk with myself that says, this is the beauty of a Mary Kay business. It's only you putting stress on yourself, right? You haven't done all the good activity that we know we should be doing, but I'm like, what am I worrying about? Okay, I'll get back on track, right? Uh, there's something to be said about reminding people to just have enough relaxation or chill along with working the business. It's got to be a great symbiotic thing, I think.
And I do think that it's somewhat challenging. When you work a full-time job, it's totally doable to do Mary Kay. I mean, that a lot of people do that, but there are like trying to work when you're the most energetic and not working 15 and 16-hour days between your other job and Mary Kay. There is a balance there you got to figure out. And that is a challenge. That is a challenge. I think it's worth it, but it is also harder, Jody, right now because you're not physically at 100%. And so you just have to figure out what can I do, consistently with the energy level I have while I still am trying to heal, you know? And it's okay if your goal is not be a director by June 30th. If it's just, and the good thing for you guys is neither one of you, even when you say, Dawn, I'm got off track or whatever. You guys are still servicing your customers. You're still doing your preferred customer program. So your customers are getting books. You know, could there be more follow up? Maybe, depending on the week, So, and me too. Like I have felt a little bit like with the changes with the system that my customers, it's just very confusing. Like there's just, and I want to go back and say, I've got customers on there I haven't followed up with Do I need to have a system to go through so many a week, and just reignite them or take them off? Like I just need to move forward with that or talk to them about the opportunity. Is it the person that I need to talk to about that next step? So, but that's why I'm like, okay, Fridays are my days for the most part. If I can look at my week and see if I'm going to be out of town or something, but Fridays are the day that I'm going to do that. So I just wanted to kind of put that in your heads tonight this is kind of our regular Mary Kay work night training, but really I think we're kind of in a place where we just need to figure out what we want to do moving forward for the next 3.5 months and do that. I went through a little bit. You guys may have already done all this, but I went back through today. I'll show you really quick under education and went to MK Confident. Have you guys, because I always think, well, I know everything, but I have never gone through all of this and gotten all my bling buttons and all that stuff. And I started going through some of it today. And for one thing, they have changed the Great Start just a little bit. But I definitely need to be sending our new consultants here right away because it was very good. And now that they don't have the new Great Start app, they could go here to Great Start and the video on inventory and the video on, how you get your bonuses and all of that is very, very helpful. And I thought I haven't been pushing people to go here as much as I should have. And so just know that if you have a new consultant. And then I also went through the Golden Rule customer service today and a little bit about promoting your online shop because there's a whole bunch of stuff on social media on here we could do more of. But anyway, not that you have extra time for that, but I was literally doing the dishes today and I just put the video on. So I was kind of like doing something else and then I would go back to the video and because it's not as much reading as it is video. And so anyway, it is helpful and I kind of want to see what the company's saying about things now because a little bit with social media stuff has changed and just the Golden Rule customer service did go talk about, Jody, you mentioned a while ago, 2 + 2 + 2 and 3 + 3. It talked about 2 + 2 + 2. And it also said, if you do get a MyShop order and it is someone that's registered on your site and even like the little lady that called you, you could follow up with her if you haven't heard from her in 2 weeks, like following up in 2 weeks with new people that enter our, I got that new girl that I sent her Cadillac. If I haven't heard from her, I'm going to follow up with her, just making sure we're following up and getting those things done. So I don't know. I just really wanted to go there as we think about the end and you have to decide for yourself what you want, but just know that if you don't really have anything you want, you're not going to hit it, So think about what it is you personally want by the end of June for yourself. And what are you going to do to hit it? And what are you going to do when you hit an obstacle? We always because a lot of times when you hit an obstacle, we just stop. So think about ahead of time, when I hit an obstacle, this is what I'm going to do to work through that. And anyway, any other thoughts before we go?
No, but I'm going to ask, because I'm excited to really play into this for the final 3 months of our seminar year. I'm going to want to talk with you. We've gotten on course. So
yeah. Well, you have career conference this weekend, right?
I do.
So maybe early next week or something we can connect and you can kind of tell me how career conference goes and then what your thoughts are after that. And
for sure. Can I just ask you real quick? And I know we're still recording. So
yeah,
who from the Kansas City area is going to be at the St. Charles? Didn't I hear that Heather is going to be participating in this one?
I honestly don't know because, Jill is also having her own spring conference in Kansas City. And I don't know if that is this weekend or the next weekend, but some of those Kansas City people are just going to her spring conference and not going to career conference.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not totally sure. I haven't heard. But Roxy actually and I were going to try to connect. I could even reach out to Roxy and ask her if any of them are going, just so you'll know who to look for.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do
it's
that
not
because
critical, it's not
because Roxy
critical, and I
yeah.
could do the same. I'm just, again, I was
Yeah.
surprised myself today that I even wanted to look at the agenda and plug into the time. Usually I'm like, I'll show up and go along with
Yeah.
whatever's happening, but I wanted to be a little proactive on that today. So I had to read
You know,
down
they
the
did
agenda.
this schedule. They did this schedule last year and I liked it, didn't you, Jody? Because when we got there, we were able to have lunch and then we did our trainings individually from 4 to 7. And we got a lot of good meat and potatoes on that Friday night, but it wasn't a really long thing. It was just because that's when they had, the individual trainings. And it was really good. And then the next day was all more like the general. So you heard from nationals and you had recognition and you heard from top directors and stuff in the general session.
No, it was good, especially with us driving in at the 5 hours, 5.5 hours.
Mhm.
It was, the timing was just right where we could actually relax before we went, and we didn't have to wear dresses, and
Mhm.
we had time to check in, change, eat lunch, and then, and be ready to absorb what we were being taught. Yeah, and then then Saturday it was actually nice too, and I guess because it was there wasn't very many people walking across the stage. It actually we had extra time for lunch than what they had originally scheduled too.
Yeah. And ours is probably a little bit bigger than yours. I think it holds more people than yours, Dawn, in
I don't even,
Allen.
why am I having a hard time remembering if I even went to career conference last March?
I
Why am
don't
I
think
having a hard time?
I don't think you did because they didn't have one. They had it in Kansas City, I think, last year. And
Then
I
I
don't,
think I did go. Did I go with Cheryl last year? Or
no,
am I
no.
getting fall retreats
I
confused?
think you're getting fall retreats confused, but they didn't have one in St. Charles last year. I don't know that they had one. They might not even have one in Kansas City. It might have just been Jill doing a spring thing again or something.
I
Uh,
feel like that was probably it. I am not remembering because the year before I went by myself to North Carolina, and I remember the year or two before then, that was weird for me to not be with anybody. I mean, I was like,
yeah,
oh, I won't kind of do that thing again. Oh,
yeah,
at least,
And I'm
so
sitting here going, I would so do that.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I'll check with Roxy and see if anyone's going, but I think because it's easier too for Brenda and Heidi just to go to Kansas City than to go up to St. Charles.
right.
So, and I looked at the nationals that were going to be at St. Charles and I didn't recognize who they were.
Interesting. Well,
I
I'm
can
gonna
tell you.
go and be happy that it's like right here and why not go? It's